greatest. The Country Giant. Get ready. The Hodge Pack. Settle in right now. It is time for the Hodge Pack. Sports, life, and everything in between with Josh, Misty, and Hodge. Going live. 3, 2, 1.
Good morning and welcome to the Hodge Pack. March Madness happening right here down at the Mall of Abilene, our Potosi Live studio. Hanging out down here in the Mall of Abilene. We are brought to you by Lidl Land and Cattle. Our guest up here on our Pest Patrol phone line, and we have got a jam-packed show full of madness, rocket and rolling. We're glad that you're with us. Tons to cover. And so we are glad that you're with us this morning. Hodge, Misty, we'll be on our way. Josh is here. And so it's really good. Josh has got his Baylor Bear ready for March Madness to head over to the Baylor side a little bit later today. Josh, we got so much to cover. And so we're glad that you're here this morning. And it's madness has already started for sure on the bracket world.
Yeah, very interesting day. That Thursday, Friday of the round of 64 is just, it's where the madness it really is, because there's 32 games in 2 days. So there's just, you can't even keep up with what all's going on at the same time and trying to flip back and forth and all of the things that go with that. And, had a couple pretty steep upsets.
Yeah, the brackets definitely were over. I'm in a couple of survivor pools. Thank God they allow you to put another bracket in. Colin Harris, appreciate it. I know they're not quite listening yet. There's a large group of people out in Vegas, and our buddy Evan Harris, who's turning 40 pretty soon. Don't know if it's today or what, but shout out to Evan. He'll get that on the podcast. We don't have to give royalties to birthdays, so we're good. But anyway, So I picked BYU in my survivor because I never thought Duquesne, would upset BYU.
I'd never heard of Duquesne, so it was kind of a.
Well, for the first 40 minutes of the game, which is the whole game, I was trying to figure out how to pronounce it. I was like, is it?
Do you cheat?
Is it Dequeezy? Is it or what? And so and apparently they're friends of LeBron because LeBron gave them a bunch of shoes. And anyway, so BYU is out. And really, it was a good thing for some of the Big 12 guys to win yesterday because it did not look well for the Big 12 for some of them. As, of course, Texas Tech loses last night along with BYU. But they had a few other folks. We'll dive more into March Madness a little bit later with Misty and see how the brackets are. We had over 70 folks enter our Hodge Pack Pick'em, our bracket challenge. That was the most I think we've ever had. So thank you for entering that. And we'll be giving away some prizes for the top three. And it looks like right now, Tracy entered her first bracket ever. So that was kind of cool. Congratulations to Tracy. We are actually tied. No, we're not at the bottom. We're kind of what you would call the Mendoza line of the Pick'em Challenge. So we'll look at those later. We'll shout out to some. Our buddy Brad had a perfect bracket until I'm sure the Wildcats fell short to Oakland yesterday or last night. So we'll look into that a little bit later. But there's a lot to cover. And of course, we want to talk with Misty about that and see how she's doing bracket-wise. And of course, we put on our Facebook, Josh, I'm going to tell you one of the most interactive Facebook questions that we've had in quite some time was the best single fast food item. A lot of folks giving out suggestions. A lot of folks not reading the question correctly and answering wrong.
You were commenting?
No, I knew. Well, I know.
You didn't even see it coming.
Oh, well, I'm very burnable. So we'll read those a little bit later on as well. But we got a lot to cover. Baseball has started. You may not even know that. And so we're going to dive into our Lawrence Hall headline report. We'll start off with golf. Last week, Scotty Scheffler winning for the first time in the history of the Players' Championship in 50 years of the tournament, going back-to-back, winning, coming back from 5 strokes. Scotty Scheffler, back-to-back weekends of $4 million. Not a bad gig. He wins the Players' Championship last week, coming back again from 5 strokes down. And the Valspar happening there in Innisbrook in Tampa. Kevin Streelman leading that after the first round, 7 under. Couple of Cowboy news. One, Tyron Smith is heading to the Jets. So now the old blind side of Dak Prescott is now an issue. And Lander Van Der Esch retires. Unfortunately, the middle linebacker of the Dallas Cowboys, from Sean Lee to Landon Van Der Esch, is not a long career plan.
No, it's definitely a violent game, and those two guys played hard, and both of them out with injuries early in their career, which it's sad to Sean Lee was there for longer and kind of established himself more, but Van Der Esch was one of those guys that I distinctly remember when he burst onto the scene. He kind of a laughable draft pick that some people thought was an overreach by the Cowboys, but then he stepped up, made a Pro Bowl, looked like he was, a real up and comer, and then it was just derailed by injuries.
Well, and again, was known for the old fashioned cowboy collar and all that, and so Landon Van Der Esch is out, and the longest Tyron Smith is heading to New York to maybe protect Aaron Rodgers. Who knows if Aaron Rodgers makes it back? A couple other things we want to dive into. Coaching world, we mentioned it. We didn't get to talk about it last week, but a couple of athletic director moves in the big country. Jim Ned named Jonathan McClure, defensive coordinator, is named the head football coach at Jim Ned, and so he takes over for Coach Fanning, who left to go to Hardin Simmons. And then the big one is Nathan Hayes, the head football coach and athletic director from Benjamin, heads over to Baird with his two sons, and heading to Baird, of course. Coach Hayes has won a number of state championships, last two at Benjamin, and is heading to Baird, two sons that are really, really good. And so Baird's getting some new facilities. And the question will be, who would think we would talk about it like you would in the college or the NFL world with the portal? But Grayson Rigdon played his freshman year at Strawn, 2 years at Benjamin. Will he go with Coach Hayes to Baird? So what will happen there? But those are happening. New football coaches at Jim Ned and Benjamin. Of course, still some other jobs open. Merkel is still open across the big country, so be on the lookout for that. Josh, we wanted to take time to talk about this in case it rolled into our First Bank and Trust Texas Ranger Report. Josh, we mentioned that the Major League Baseball season opening day is really, it's kind of like, the grand opening. People have soft openings for businesses. Well, we had a soft opening in Korea. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres played 2 games over there. Opening day is what we would think is March 28th with the Rangers to kick off or throw off. I guess it's
first pitch.
Yeah, first pitch. But over the weekend, or not over the weekend, over the last couple of days, Dodgers and Padres split. Some exciting games, some big run games. Look like a game out in Nelson Park that we used to be a part of. But that was not the news over the week. It was Shohei Ohtani being involved in a $4.5 million gambling issue in the Dodgers and firing his interpreter. And Josh, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been watching some of this, listening to it some on ESPN and all that. It sure seems weird. The most polarizing and the most expensive player in baseball, his eyes are no longer in the dugout from pitching or hitting. It's off the field.
Right. And it's one of those things that obviously Major League Baseball doesn't want the publicity to move to anything other than on the field. And, before we get into the Shohei thing, just in general, the Dodgers Padres opening in Korea, that whole thing is just kind of bothersome to me. Not that they're playing out of the country or anything like that, but I was thinking how I would feel if, as a Rangers fan, that have obviously look forward to opening day and all of the stuff that goes with it, and watching real baseball. And if your team opened up where the first pitch was quite literally in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever it was local time, and on the West Coast, it's got to be kind of disheartening. It's like it's also just a time slot that is impossible to watch. And I don't understand why Major League Baseball would decide to take real baseball games, the opening of the season, and put it at a time slot that's impossible for your core fans. And I know they're trying to build their brand and add fans and make it
and
more
Shohei
international.
Being on the team.
And yes, and there are things that I get that, but at the same time, just abandoning and kind of abusing your core fans seems like a bad way to try to keep your brand going. But that's
but you take that. You're exactly right in the fact that who's to say if the Rangers, and we'll do our picks for Major League Baseball because we're 2 games behind on picking who's going to win the divisions and all that. But the Rangers are going to grow possibly into that being that hot item to send them overseas and grow the brand because of Seager or because of Simeon or whoever, because of the brand of Texas. It's going to be hard. It's like, I understand getting up to watch the Open or the British Open, but it was funny because Unsportsmanlike is a show on ESPN that I watch, and it's funny how that they were talking about, we're a 7 to 9, it's 5 to 10, it's 5 to 9 here, and like, we're on this early. We normally don't have live sports, and they're actually watching live baseball that's happening and being able to cover it the whole radio show because it was happening so late or early.
Right. When the first opening day happened, or the first opening day, when the first game of that series in Korea happened, I woke up and I had forgotten that it was going on, which I also think is part and parcel to me saying it's bad for the core fans, because I watch a lot of baseball, I pay attention to baseball, and I forgot that game was going on. Then I noticed when I looked at my phone to look at what the schedule was for some March Madness and things like that, and I saw on the app that I opened up that there was a baseball game currently going on, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that," which is just weird at 6 a.m. to see a ball game happening. And when I first glanced at it, I assumed it was the final score, and then I saw that no way, it's only the third inning. So it was like, I don't know, very strange. But back to and we're definitely going to run out of time.
So we're going to go. So to save time, we're going to go to commercial now. Again, that's our Lawrence Hall headline report, brought to you by Lawrence Hall of Abilene. Again, at the bottom of the hour, we got Merkle Badgers coming in, baseball player, barrel racer, loads of stuff left to cover. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Shohei Ohtani deal and how crazy it has literally become. It could become a Netflix series just in the next 4 days. We'll be back with more Hodge Pack right after this.
Have you enjoyed the Potosi Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around. With amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience.
or SUV, come see us or shop 24/7 at LawrenceHallAbileneOnline.com. Voted Abilene's best new car dealer for over 28 years by you, our customers.
Hello, Abilene and the Big Country. My name is John Keaty. I am a resident at Disability Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document and we are here to assist and serve you in the destruction of your most private documents or any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years. Give us a call at 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Clack Street. You'll be glad you did.
Connections. That's what your Touchstone Energy Cooperative makes possible every day by providing the energy our community needs to stay connected to work, to family, to everyone and everything that matters. Day and night, we're always here. Because we know that of all the connections we make, none are more powerful than the human connection.
You are the most important part of Big Country Electric Cooperative. Call, stop by our offices in Roby, Snyder, and Stamford, or visit online at bigcountry.coop.
Hi, I'm Sharon Riley. Here in Abilene, folks have lots of options for eating out, from large chains to locally owned mom and pops like us. I want you to know we really appreciate your business and are always striving for wonderful food, service, and prices. So we listened to you and have updated our menu, bringing back old favorites like nachos and fajitas and adding more small plates for the light appetites. So come see us. I want to hear you say, yum, yum.
At First Bank and Trust, our story started in 1996 and it continues because of you, our customers, our communities, and our neighbors. We are proud to be a small part of your success. But where does your story start? Where do you want to go? Whether starting a business, saving for the future, or launching your ideas to the next level, we want to help you take your first steps towards something big. Call or email one of our bankers today. At First Bank and Trust, we see potential, ideas, innovation, growth everywhere.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, ball 4. Bases loaded. The Hodge Pack, always clearing the bases. Right here on 106.9, The Country Giant.
The bases are clearing and the baseball season is underway. We, for sure, the Dodgers and the Padres are not going to go 162-0 because they split in Korea. But, Josh, we talked about it, and we'll get to our picks. But I think we've got to look at and talk more about this Shohei Ohtani thing. When the baseball season started and the games were over, that first game, the story was not the fact that the Dodgers came back and won, but the fact that Shohei Ohtani interpreter was fired by the Dodgers because of a gambling issue and the result of $4.5 million.
It's a very weird story because if you follow the timeline, there's a illegal sports betting is not legal in California, just like it's not legal in Texas. But there was an illegal gambling ring that was being investigated, and Shohei Ohtani's name was found on their ledger, to the tune of $4.5 million. So when Shohei Ohtani is approached about that, not him, but his people, they said that it was an issue with his interpreter and that they would allow ESPN to interview the interpreter. So they interview the interpreter. The interpreter tells the story of how he got into gambling debts. And Shohei being his friend, Shohei paid his gambling debts and paid them directly. And so that seemed, like, first of all, that seems weird that his interpreter, who is his friend, who has been with him for a while, was gambling and such a bad gambler that he ran up millions of dollars worth of gambling debts. And somehow he's doing this with no money, so that's just weird,
And then apparently finding some way to. It's kind of like, I guess, when you go play golf. Yeah, all right, we're playing. You're playing. Like, yeah, I'll bet you whatever. And at the end of the round, you're like, oh, I don't have the money to pay.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, and who has $4.5 million other than Shohei Ohtani, I guess. But so that was the story that he then tells. But then, and this is where I find it very interesting because the story then changes. Shohei Ohtani's people put the agent in front of ESPN to tell them the story. After he tells the story, then they say, like, no, that's not right. He stole the money.
And they fired him.
Yes. And so it went from Shohei Ohtani was helping out his friend to he stole his money. And I find it hard. Like, now, I don't know what happened, and I'm not alleging that Shohei Ohtani is illegal gambling, but I think that is a possibility just because of the way this all played out. Because then you're convincing me, like, all right, it wasn't a one-time payment. There were payments that went back to last year for $500,000 in like September, $500,000 in October, and then they changed the story to this interpreter was took this money fraudulently. It was theft, which would mean he would have had to have Shohei's credentials to wire money,
and that's the thing. It started off Shohei paid off a buddy, or paid off the buddy's gambling debts, is the way it first came out.
Yes,
and then it went to now I'm being accused of I've been robbed, a massive theft is what they're calling it.
Yes, theft of $4.5 million.
Right. Which it's just a terrible, it's not a good look no matter who the player is.
Right.
But when it's Shohei Ohtani, the look is extremely worse.
And if nothing else, there's I guess either Shohei Ohtani who got caught in a bad situation with a buddy and tried to help him and then it backfired on him, or one of his closest trusted friends was stealing money behind his back, which is believable. I mean, but it's also what I find harder to believe is at the first game, and they had I watched this, like the kind of the recap of it. The first game before they had fired the interpreter, he and the interpreter were sitting next to each other in the dugout, yucking it up, laughing, like good buddies. And then after that game, they fire him. So I don't understand if they're good buddies on, day one.
That kind of terms.
Well, yes. It's not like they just figured out he stole the money. So, like, why were they buddies and the payments go back to last year? And, I mean, if you got $500,000 leaving your checking account, and I know Shohei's got a lot of money, but if he's so reckless that $500,000 goes out and he doesn't realize it, which you
need to hire better people around you.
Well, right. Well, I don't think there's any way that he doesn't have people that know that money's going out. So I don't think the theft thing makes sense just because of that, because it wasn't just a one-time transfer. It was several different transfers that go back 6 months. So I don't know what the correct story is, but the theft story doesn't make sense unless it would involve more than just the interpreter to be able to get into his accounts, send that money, not have his accountants, like catch that it was going out.
And the other thing that I had heard and seen, and I agree, I'm like, who okayed the idea for this guy to be interviewed?
His people, which makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like who says, all right, why do we want to interview an interpreter? It's not like interviewing a caddy. I mean, and here's the other deal.
No, he was the fall guy, whether he did it or not.
So one or two things are going to happen, in my opinion. They're going to figure it all out. But regardless, whether this guy gets in trouble or whatever, he's going to write a book and make millions because of whether, hey, I got the raw deal. I fell on the sword for Shohei.
Well,
this is what happened. This is how I did it.
What I think is he's already, if he is fall guy, he's already made his millions, and they've paid him plenty to just take the rap.
And that's very possible
because Shohei's people, his agent, his lawyers said when Shohei's name popped up on this investigation that he was involved in this gambling deal, it's the interpreter, and you can talk to him. He will sit and interview with you. He interviews, then later recants what he said, and they say he stole it. The Dodgers fire him. The interpreter was then asked for comment, and he said that he was instructed to not make a comment. The press then asked who told him not to make a comment, and he refused to answer. But he also said he had not retained counsel, so it wasn't his own lawyer telling him not to make a comment. It was someone else telling him not to make a comment. So it's just weird.
And I mentioned that it literally, the Netflix series that it could be just from the beginning of the story to where we're at today, and like the old Saved by the Bells or any other old sitcom or show, to be continued. There's going to be a lot more that comes from this. And it reminds me of NIL and when all that stuff was happening and all that the football people wanted to do were the games to start. And I think that's where we're at right now, because the only two teams that were playing a real baseball game that counted were the Dodgers and the Padres. Now they're just hoping for baseball to start. And so let's talk about that so we can get it in, not only so we can get it in, but so that we can kind of do what baseball probably wants. Manfred's probably wondering, why did I sign that extension, number one? And number two, his best player is at the top of a scrutiny pile, worth about $4.5 million, and I guess maybe even $700 million if you take the contract. Josh, baseball is here. The Texas Rangers kick off first pitch next Thursday against the Chicago Cubs, defending World Series champions. Josh, who do you think wins these divisions? Who do you think we'll go ahead and pick World Series winners? We got about 4 minutes. Ready? Go.
Who do I think wins the like? Well, let's go.
Start the AL East.
AL East. That's a tough one because I'm going to have to say the Orioles, even though I would not be surprised to see kind of a sophomore slump for them, if you will, just with having the way that their season went last year, then, kind of falling apart in the playoffs at the hands of the Rangers. So I'm going to go with the Orioles, but I do think it's, the Rays, you can't write them off. The Yankees have some problems, with Garrett Cole getting hurt, so prior to Garrett Cole getting hurt, I would have picked the Yankees, but I'll say the Orioles.
I'm going to go with the Blue Jays. Central.
Well, the Central is the Twins, and that's just by default because everyone else is really just not good.
Same. West.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Rangers. I don't feel like that's a complete homer pick, but I don't want it to be a jinx pick either. The Rangers have to have some things fall their way, obviously, with the pitching side. They did just sign Jared Lorenzen, so they've got a little bit of reinforcement there. It really will depend on the guys coming back. The Astros also are having a lot of trouble on their pitching depth with injuries. So we're going Rangers.
Rangers win it. Mariners get the wild card. Astros miss the playoffs this year. That's my first.
Put that in the book. I'll take it.
Without Dusty Baker. All right. We're going to the NL East.
Braves.
Same. Central.
The Central's a tough one because it's.
Is there anybody good?
Well, no, but the Reds kind of showed flashes last year. I'm going to go with the Cubs just because I think they're generally a little bit better, and they got a new manager. So that's where I'm going to go with that. On paper, St. Louis looks like they got better than last year, but they were indescribably bad for what their roster was last year. So I'm going to go Cubs.
I will say on another note, I think it's funny. East, Central, West, but we don't have everybody else has
North, South.
Yeah, we do not. I'm going to go with the Reds just because Kirk Herbstreit's a Red fan. I'll go with the Reds.
Okay.
NL West, I'm going to go anybody but the Dodgers because I know that's what everybody thinks. I'm going anybody but the Dodgers.
Well, I know that you're high on the anti-Dodgers bandwagon, which, I don't like the way that they've assembled this super team by spending a ton of money, but it's the rules. And so I'm going to pick the Dodgers just because I don't think that, the Diamondbacks obviously are moving in the right direction and made it to the World Series last year. So I think it could be a close division. And then, the Padres have a lot of problems. And the Rockies are obviously.
Actually, I'm going to go with the Padres because I think they've got a lot of invested Manny and a few others.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with the Padres. We're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we'll have our Big Country Electric My Town segment. Baseball is here. The Rangers next Thursday. I looked at tickets. They're a little high, so I'm probably going to have to watch the Ranger game at Josh's because I don't have ballets. So when we come back, we'll have our Big Country Electric My Town segment. Baseball player, barrel racer, all in one, future college athletes, but still ending their senior year as Merkle Badgers. We'll be back right after this.
When it comes to finding the right vehicle for you, there's no better place than Lawrence Hall in Abilene. For over 34 years, Lawrence Hall in Abilene has been the place to find the best from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. That is still true today. Great products and great service, too. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, come see us or shop 24/7 at LawrenceHallAbileneOnline.com. Voted Abilene's best new car dealer for over 28 years by you, our customers.
Have you enjoyed the Potosi Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around, with amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. Check out PotosiLive.com or go like them at Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 1750 for the Potosi Live experience.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hello, Abilene and the Big Country. My name is John Keaty. I am a resident at Disability Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredding business. Our services include routine pickups, purges, or we accept drop-offs at our state-of-the-art, safe, and secure facility. We are the DRI Shredders, and we are here to assist and serve you in the destruction of your most private documents or any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years. Give us a call at 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Clack Street. You'll be glad you did.
Pest Patrol, Pest Patrol, Pest Patrol. To get a big bright yellow truck coming to your door. Call Pest Patrol.
Hi, I'm Weldon Hurst, and we've been protecting homes and businesses for 30 years right here in the Big Country. If you need service or just have questions, call or text at 325-673-6700.
The big bright yellow truck coming to your door. Call Pest Patrol.
Hi, I'm Sharon Riley. Here in Abilene, folks have lots of options for eating out, from large chains to locally owned mom and pops like us. I want you to know we really appreciate your business and are always striving for wonderful food, service, and prices. So we listen to you and have updated our menu, bringing back old favorites like nachos and fajitas and adding more small plates for the light appetites. So come see us. I want to hear you say, yum, yum.
The time has changed and it's time to hit the range at Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf. Come relax on the patio, hit golf balls on the driving range, play 18 holes, and go enjoy a delicious meal, cold drinks with friends. Head to 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive, Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf. You'll be glad you did.
At First Bank and Trust, our story started in 1996 and it continues because of you, our customers, our communities, and our neighbors. We are proud to be a small part of your success. But where does your story start? Where do you want to go? Whether starting a business, saving for the future, or launching your ideas to the next level, we want to help you take your first steps towards something big. Call or email one of our bankers today. At First Bank and Trust, we see potential, ideas, innovation, growth everywhere.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Your laptop, TV, mobile phone, or devices. You might say your Touchstone Energy Cooperative is in the business of keeping you connected to everyone and everything that's essential. Day or night, we're always here, making life easier. Because when all is said and done, of all the connections we make, none are more powerful than the human connection.
You are the most important part of Big Country Electric Cooperative. Call, stop by our offices in Roby, Snyder, and Stamford, or visit online at bigcountry.coop.
This is my town. Yeah, this is my town.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between, right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. We're rocking and rolling in our Big Country Electric My Town segment, hour number 2, brought to you by, well, not in hour number 2. I'm telling you, March Madness has got me fried. My bracket's jacked up. We'll talk about the brackets. I don't know if they got a bracket. If they're smart, they didn't do one because all it does is stress you out. But it is time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment, brought to you by Big Country Electric Cooperative, taking care of their members each and every day out of 3 offices, Roby, Snyder, and Stamford. And joining us this morning in studio, Aspen Adams. I almost called you Sipe. I know that's not what your name is. And Bryant Jones joining us. Appreciate y'all taking, because this is your day off. You're off on Fridays, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, appreciate y'all being here. Again, I'm a Merkle Badger alum, and so it was exciting seeing the post that y'all got a big signing day coming up this Tuesday. And so, and I told you this is our first, honestly, I was trying to think. We brought in Logan when he was showing tequila, the pig, not the drink. But I think this is our first rodeo participant in being on the show. So Aspen, we appreciate you taking the time to be here this morning. We joked, I've known Aspen, I've known both of these families for a long time growing up in Merkle. So I appreciate y'all taking the time this morning. The burrito will still be good, Brian, I promise. So let's talk about it. Your seniors, I know parents are probably, I know for you, I mean, your mom and dad are probably wigging out a little bit. I'm thinking the same thing about Logan's mom and dad. Just, you're here, your parents have seen the seniors and all that, and they're still going to love you too, Brian. Don't get me wrong. And they're going to miss you. So talk about it. I mean, your seniors, and we're on the backstretch. Spring break is over. Again, I mentioned Aspen's a barrel racer. Brian is, if it's involved at all, he's playing it. So talk about it, Aspen. Has it flown by? I mean, old people say time flies. Has it flown by from kindergarten, Tuesday, Thursday school to being a senior?
Yes, sir. It's definitely flown by, but I'm ready to be out and I'm ready to go do my goals and pursue those. And I think the better it is outside of high school for sure. Well,
and there's no doubt Merkle's prepared, and I'm sure, I mean, your thoughts too. I mean, it's flown by. You've played everything probably since baseball could be picked up, a football could be picked up. You've played all these things, and, hopefully we got playoff baseball ahead, but it's the same thing. It's kind of flown by, and you're here. Talk about kind of your thoughts as you are now. You are the senior. You've been looking up to seniors for 4 years, and even as a younger Badger, but now you're a senior.
Well, even coming into this year, I never really thought that the day that I'd have to start my last sport would come. And opening day of baseball was really an eye-opener of, hey, this is my last go-round, this is my last shot. Let's do it. And it really makes you reflect back through all the years that I have looked up to bigger Badgers and stuff, and just kind of makes me feel good to know I'm in those shoes now.
Well, and I'll tell you, as a guy that refereed some of your games as on the JVN, once I started getting into it, I never really – when I started refereeing more, I didn't get as many Merkle games being from there, but I got to referee some. And I've just seen you grow. You've always been an athlete that kind of, I mean, you can get excited, but you've always been a good teammate and always just encouraged. I'll never forget one JV game. Some kid was having a rough outing, and you're like, hey, it's okay, let's go. And so I think those are important traits that are going to help you, as Aspen is saying, when you get out of Merkle, being able to do those things, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Those things like that are going to be such huge things. And I'm not trying to do a PSA, but be like these two kids. So Aspen, you're the barrel racer, and you stay busy, and you did everything. You did the basketball, you did the cheer, but rodeo's kind of been, well, it's in your family. Talk about what got you into rodeoing.
Yes, sir. Both my parents high school rodeoed, and my grandmother trained barrel horses for a living. And so I just kind of grew up into it. And so it's always just kind of been there. And so there's always been a horse at my house. So
when we talk about stock show folks, and they get to know their pig, and then unfortunately the pig doesn't come home with them sometimes or anytime. So talk about the relationship, because to me, again, being a golfer and your dad being a golfer, we have caddies. Talk about how you get to, golfer and caddies are like this. Talk about rodeo barrel racers and horses.
I am at the barn every day. So you get to learn each of their personalities and their demeanors, and, each of them have something different about them, different characteristics. And it's really interesting to get to see that and see how an animal can have so much personality. So
now what are the names? How many horses do you have? Multiple, or how many do you ride? And, I'm doing hand motions for those that are watching on Facebook, that you whip around the barrels and get through. How many horses do you run? Is that the correct term?
I have two main horses that I run, and then I have a couple young ones coming up that I've been riding and exercising.
So I guess at some point, just like Aaron Rodgers, we don't know when he'll retire. Tom Brady did eventually. Eventually, horses retire, and so you have to have the next group ready. Just real quick, Aspen's a 3-time Texas Rodeo State finalist, 2024 Region 2 High School Rodeo Barrel Champion. I mean, tons of buckles. She's wearing one now. We'll get her to do the Aaron Rodgers double check in a minute on it. So, Bryant, you've played everything. I mean, literally, if it's involved a sport or ball, you've been involved in it. So talk about just kind of, we know Aspen's going to go rodeo at Cisco. What drew you to baseball and said, you know what, I want to go play for Coach Coleman at Hardin Simmons?
Well, the reason I play baseball and like choose it over any other sport is just because it's always like a chess game. Like, it's not like like football, your most athletic, strongest team usually wins. And baseball, you could have 4 guys who have never picked up a ball before, but if they get on and run bases better than the other team, they could beat them 4-0. And I like that fact. And Coach Coleman, even, he's the one that said that and put that in my mind. And that's one of the reasons I really like him. And the way he runs his team is he doesn't care how old you are. He doesn't care if he has a senior that's played 150 games and a freshman who hadn't had an at-bat yet. And if you're better, and you're doing better in practice and earning your spot, he'll put you out there.
So for our listeners, tell our folks what you play in baseball. What's your position? I know probably a lot of things.
I'm a right-handed pitcher and a true utility, so I can really kind of go anywhere. I've caught third base, shortstop, first base.
And if I'm Coach Coleman and I'm out recruiting, that's a good thing for me because now I know I can put Bryant anywhere we need him. So have you been recruited specifically for any one of those positions or just come play baseball?
Really, it's been third base or pitching. That's what I've been mainly recruited on. But every coach that I've talked to knows that they can throw me anywhere. I'm just trying to get on the field and I can do it all.
Well, and again, here's some stats on Brian. He's pitched over 16 innings, 27 Ks. This is a really good earned run average in district. It's 0. That's always a pretty good stat to have. And so let's talk about it. I mean, high school, we always hear high school is fun and all that, but college athletics, whether you go to Hardin Simmons, you go to Cisco, you go to Auburn, Alabama, doesn't matter, that it becomes a whole new ball game and almost like a small job. So what excites you about being a college athlete and riding barrels and doing rodeo at Cisco?
It's definitely getting to take it to the next level, getting to compete with people that I've looked up to forever. And also getting to college rodeo for Don Ed is very exciting, and I really like him as a coach.
So talk a little bit about that, because some people that aren't involved much in rodeo, just how good Cisco College rodeo is.
Cisco is third out of the state, and so that's against Tarleton, Tech, all the big D1 schools. They are third, and they are very competitive, and there is very NFR kids that have gone and pursued.
And to me, it reminds me kind of like, Morgan Rutherford Spears now that went to South Plains, how many people have come out of South Plains Music School. It's kind of like that. You may think, well, it's Cisco, but how big and dominant and good it is. And of course, Coach Coleman at Hardin Simmons, they're very competitive, been there a long time, have a little small Merkle tree there. I know Lupe Pareto was there for a little bit. Coach Howell, that was the baseball coach when we were in school, coached at Hardin Simmons for a little bit. So what excited you about Hardin Simmons, and what excites you about the challenge of going? Because you know as well as I do, we've seen it with other athletes. You now get to be, I'm going to call you, the stud amongst some other studs. What excites you about college baseball?
Well, the most exciting thing about college baseball, I think, is just the competitive level. Like, high school is competitive, but of course you have your guys who've never really played before. And of course, majors is competitive, but they're already paid.
Right.
There's nothing like college baseball. Nobody's getting paid really at this level. It's just a bunch of scrappy guys trying to go put 9 innings together and do it the best they can.
Well, and I think the other thing is that you understand that, and again, there's nothing wrong. I mean, but you're getting recruited guys that are coming to Hardin Simmons that you get to play with, and probably you get to help them go to another level. They get to help you go to another level, and who knows what happens as a Hardin Simmons Cowboy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all a competition. Like, I guarantee right now there's 2, maybe 3 third basemen there that are better than me. But whenever I get there, my goal is to be number 1 third baseman wherever he needs me. I want to be the number 1 arm out of the bullpen, number 1 third baseman. I want to be hitting 3-hole. That's just my goals. That's what I want to work to.
Well, and you got a big game today. You got Clyde today. My understanding, possibly on the hill today, or do you know yet?
Yes, sir. I'm on the bump today.
Okay, on the bump. Going against Clyde, that's the kind of the new rival when we were growing up, when your mom and I were growing up, is Merkel Wiley. But Clyde's kind of that rival for y'all. What do you think it's going to take to get that district win today?
I mean, obviously, it's going to take a lot of perseverance, just because we took a tough loss on Tuesday. They came to our place and they put it on us a little bit. So, I mean, perseverance is going to be our main thing, toughness, and everybody knows Clyde has their boo crew or whatever.
Right.
But I think we can handle that because we're not going to let them get under our skin. We're just going to play our game and play ball.
And it's kind of like in basketball. You can't turn it over. Errors, you can't have errors. You got to field the ball and keep it, make the outs happen, not the inning continue. So we got a little bit of time left. So Aspen, what does the rest of the school year look like and the summer look like? Because I know rodeo kind of gets busy, gets rolling. What does it look like for you?
In May, I had the Women's World Championship Rodeo, and it's at the Fort Worth Stock Shows. And then the big one is in June. It's high school state finals, and it's here in Abilene.
So, which it's been here a long time in Abilene. So it's a great opportunity to go watch some very talented athletes, high school players, and rodeo boys and girls. It's a great atmosphere. It's been in Abilene. I don't even know how long, been a very long time. And so both of those you have to qualify for, right?
Yes, sir.
So you don't just show up, hey, I want to be a world champion. She's actually done the stuff to qualify. So, Bryant, what does it look like? Hopefully a playoff run in baseball.
So we're hoping to get ourselves a little playoff run going. And then I guess the next thing after this baseball season, I have the FCA All-Star game. And
what are you playing in that?
We don't really know. They just kind of tell us, hey, you made the team. And we'll
But what sport?
Oh, baseball.
Baseball, okay.
Yes,
because I know that thing's grown from before long. They may have FCA, ESPN gaming or EA games. I mean, it has grown from the football game to everything, which is great because it gives more students more opportunities to play. They need a rodeo one. They need a rodeo one FCA. All right, thrown out there, Hardcastle. Let's get the FCA All-Star rodeo. That'd be awesome. Be a rodeo. There's probably somebody we can get. There's probably enough people in the big country that we could have an FCA rodeo. So I just put that in existence. Y'all make that happen. So, hey, congratulations on signing. Tuesday's the big day. You're going to sign. I know your parents are proud. The whole family's proud. I know your parents and family are proud. I know your grandparents are extremely proud. There's a clip. We'll try to find it. Your mama was on TV. I work with your Uncle Chad, and I've known Britt a long time. We're going to try to find that, get on the Hodge Pack Facebook page because it is hilarious. And your mama, unfortunately, I don't know. Do you want to talk on this show? No, she does not. Hesitation. We're going to try to relive the Harry Holt show. Hey, but thank y'all for coming in. Hey, go take care of Clyde today. And congratulations on getting to do what a lot of kids would love to do, and that's play college athletics. And you're getting to do that. So embrace it, enjoy it. And we appreciate you coming in this morning.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, again, that's Bryant Jones. Again, Aspen Adams. Again, they're fantastic people. They're even great athletes, but better people. And if you want your kids to look up to somebody, Brian and Aspen are great ones to do that. When we come back, we'll have Misty's bag and see how many brackets are jacked up. Real quick, did y'all do a bracket?
No, sir.
Good call. You'll be a lot better that you did. We'll be back right after this.
Have you enjoyed the Potosi Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around. With amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. Check out PotosiLive.com or go like them at Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 1750 for the Potosi Live experience.
important part of Big Country Electric Cooperative. Call, stop by our offices in Roby, Snyder, and Stamford, or visit online at bigcountry.coop.
Tammy, are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in mortgages. Buying a home should not make you cry. You deserve a team of mortgage experts who have your best interest at heart. Visit ColemanBank.com and let us help you make your next move. If you are looking for a mortgage team in a league of their own, Coleman County State Bank is the place for you.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. The time has changed and it's time to hit the range at Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf. Come relax on the patio, hit golf balls on the driving range, play 18 holes, and go enjoy a delicious meal, cold drinks with friends. Head to 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive, Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between. Appreciate Aspen and Bryant joining us this morning in our Big Country Electric My Town segment as they get ready to continue their athletic career, riding a horse and throwing a baseball. Not at the same time, two different people. But appreciate them coming in.
That was a good mental image, though.
Yeah. Maybe that's how the first pitch should be. If they bring somebody in from like the American rodeo or something, that could be their first riding in and kind of like polo, but different.
I don't know that you want the horse running on the infield.
Oh, it's turf. I'm sure they'll be fine.
No, you're right. Fake grass.
Yeah, it's not real. But again, we appreciate them. And Brock was telling me, Bryant's dad, that over 10 kids had signed from Merkle to go play some sports and on the next level.
Exciting.
So that is good. I appreciate that. And again, kids getting a chance to continue in their athletic careers, and so that's always cool. But Misty is here. You heard her say something, which means that she is here.
Something. Howdy.
Yeah,
I'm
so
here.
she is here, and it's really good that we always kick everything off with the old Mulligans. Misty's back.
Coming up next.
In the world is in that bag. What you got in that bag?
It's just the best. I love this segment every week.
We get nervous.
Love your own segment.
I love my own bag so much. And Mulligan's, that's where I will actually be going after this for a full day.
At 9 o'clock?
March Madness festivities. Yes.
Kyle's got her opening up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Throw those tater cakes in the fryer.
Yeah.
I just thought she was a raging alcoholic.
Josh, you just assume it.
You don't know.
It could have been food, Josh.
Yeah, I'm all about the food, Joshua. Yeah, no, March Madness, baby. So this is where I'll be. Yeah, I'll be at Mulligan's literally all day. Obviously, casual Friday. I'm not working today. So that's where I will be after.
You are wearing pants, though.
I am wearing pants for anyone that wants to know. I know that's been a topic of discussion.
That was a bit for a while.
It was.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
I mean, she was in dress. She was wearing a dress or something like that. That
or was I?
Yeah. Feel free to download, subscribe, rate, and review. Go back and listen.
Cameras up here.
I love
My eyes are up here.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay. You're paired with 100 random people. Okay. This is the situation. If you're better than all 100 at something that you get to choose, you're going to win $1 billion.
$1 billion.
So what are you doing?
100 random people.
100 random people in a room. You've got to do something better than all of them, and you will win $100 or $100 billion.
$100.
You hijacked your own segment and changed it.
What? Go ahead.
Sorry, Price is
$1
right.
million.
$1 billion.
All right, I have to ask this question because I am pretty confident in the answer, depending on
I need it to be like random.
how. I'll give you two then.
Give me
I'll
two.
try to think of the other random one.
Okay.
Do I have about 10 to 15 minutes?
Time is not an issue. You just have to be better than the 100 people.
I'll be able to, within probably 15 to 20 minutes, 30 max, we'll be able to name all the other 100 people.
That is random.
Okay, that is random, but I actually love that because that's
And here's why I could tell you that.
that's pretty hard.
Let me tell you why.
I can't remember anyone's name ever.
I don't even know. What's your real name?
I apologize
only
to
know you
people
as
on the air that I've offended by not remembering your name when I see you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that one guy texted you and he told you how he thought about it.
I don't want to talk to that guy.
No, he didn't. He thought he was. He gave you a fudge pop. Anyway,
I had a few of them actually while on the radio show.
Yeah. So, but
I'm the only one that gets hate mail. I don't really know if that's a coincidence.
Well, I get stalkers, so it's fine.
Hate mail stalkers. I'm not sure what I get. But so the reason I say that is so you tour again. Shout out again to Big Country Electric. The co-ops do a contest where kids earn and win a trip to DC. And I've gotten to go, Tracy and I've gotten to go 2 times as chaperones. And I've been able, we've had over 145 to 150 kids. And by 2 days, or by the time we leave that night, I know all their names. And people are always like shocked. And so then we come back and we do a talent show and everybody's like, hey, can you still do it? And I would go through and name all their names. And so I don't know if it's a gift, a curse, or what. The problem is when you start not seeing them later, trying to put them with which class they were, if they were the first group we went to the second. But I could name names. That would be mine, like, boom. And honestly, kind of like birthdays. I mean,
Yeah.
April 2nd, March 16th.
No, I will say you are pretty good at that.
Those are the things
And
I
what
probably
was
do.
your other, because you said you had 2. What's the other one? Are you still thinking?
I'd have to think on what I think I would really be good at. Now, the other might be 90s country, name that lyric. finish that lyric.
That would actually be really good.
Finish that lyric or Seinfeld trivia. I'd kick anybody's.
Finish that lyric. I feel like I would nail that one for sure. Like
It had to be the genre because, again, Mulligans, they have on Mondays, they have Gendo.
Yes.
So I am okay with the little cheaters. And then a lot of it, if it's country, boom, I nail it.
Yeah.
The problem is when the song sings something totally different, or the chorus is something different, and it's not the name of the song, and trying to find it.
Yes.
Yeah, what's the name of
That
the
is
song?
a struggle
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But finish that country lyric, probably really good, or the Baptist hymnal. All right, go ahead.
Baptist hymnal. Just got it memorized.
Just as I am.
On 700 Club.
Turn to page
699.
number
We're gonna
276.
And we're
Hodge
singing.
knows what it is.
And we're going to sing first, second, and last.
And
We're going
you
to leave
skip
that
the
third one
you gotta
alone.
skip the third
Oh
verse.
my gosh.
I don't know why the third verse is always the throwaway.
I didn't even know
finish-
Amazing Grace had that many. Honestly, I was like, what is this?
I think it's so they could get done by 12.
Yeah, you got to make it to launch. And if you ever make the mistake, which I have, of singing the third verse, no one knows it. So
I
they
will
just
tell you
stand
though,
there and
at
like
Calvary
look at it,
Baptist
it's like-
in Calvary Baptist in Row 10, we sing all verses. So come to Calvary
No
Baptist in Row 10.
discrimination.
We sing all verses. So
at
I don't want to
Calvary.
miss out on like Josh answer this question. So I'm doing finish that lyric and I'm naming everybody.
All right, well,
Naming names.
naming names is a good one.
Names.
All right, this is a tough one because I feel like I have a lot of skills that are like just slightly above average, but none that are any good. So
I thought you were going to say, this is tough. I'm not good at anything.
Or I'm good at so many, I don't know
slightly
which is
above
big.
average, so it's just like overall, you're like, yeah, you're all right, but you're not really good at anything. So I will say there's probably 2 things that I would wager, and that would be random like baseball players, like specifically like people who have played for the Rangers and remembering like what position they played and years that they played and things like that. I think I would do fairly good at. And the other, and this doesn't have to be just like, I mean, I'm not saying just like alcohol, like definitely don't get into, stiff drinks.
Skip.
But I think
being taken to school.
I think I could outdrink 100 people easily. And I mean, just like gallon of milk, gallon of water,
Really?
I can drink and just, it's kind of insane.
Wow.
Well,
You are an
it's kind of
expensive
insane or
date.
skilled. I don't know which one I am.
Yeah, you're
So
an expensive date at the bar.
Well, no, you
But
go,
I
you go
definitely
to a
say-
place that has free refills of tea, and he
Yeah.
just goes back
Yeah.
and
Wow.
fills it. All right,
But-
so all right, so
I could outdrink you.
Outdrink and then baseball trivia.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go probably like super random. Shocker, I know. I'm going to say dictionary skills.
I'm glad you finished that word.
Like bag dictionary. I did go slow. Why did I do that?
But you made me hold up for a second. Like, what did she say?
Josh is sweating right now.
I'm gonna tell you.
Dictionary skills.
I'm going to tell you, pauses are important.
I'm sorry, just like commas. Dictionary skills. Let me speed it up. Like back in the day, like UIL. Like give me a word, I will find it. In like 2 seconds.
I used to be very good at Bible drill. That was one of those.
Bible drill too, but
find
the definition.
Or
like
you
really
had to find the word
and then recite the definition.
Yes.
I don't know if that's still the rules, but
I'd be curious. Those that are listening on your way to school.
So it's like on Marcus at go.
It's like,
it'd be like
zebra, and then you like open it up.
Yeah, that's tough. Go to Z.
I don't know.
I guess it is a UIL event because I saw that listed in one of the things, the dictionary skills, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah, no, it's actually so fun. I love dictionary skills. Okay, and then the other one, I feel like I can eat a taco faster than most people and several. Like I could get down on some tacos.
So you would say just a regular size taco, which ironically we'll be talking about a little bit later, the single best fast food item ever. And I was shocked. We'll have to look it up here.
I was going to put taco, but there's so many. Many.
But if
you got to get specific,
you got to get again. That's what we're going to talk about. Some
specific.
of you, I'm going to have a knowing is have to battle a little bit later when we get to that part.
Can't hijack my segment.
That's why I'm not. I'm just going to have a totally different one.
Pre-segment hijack.
Yeah, pre-segment. It's going to be it's going to be like Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. This is knowing how to battle 1.
Oh, so you're the more advanced. I like it.
No, you're 2.
You're 2. Wait,
you're 2. I'm 1.
We're leaving out the third. We already went over that.
Yeah.
So
you're going to town on dictionary skills and tacos.
Like I know it's super random, but I can't help these skills that I was gifted.
I can't help it.
I can't help it. I'm that
God
good.
gave me these talents.
I will eat a taco in like 2 seconds.
That
Devour the taco.
Well, and again, that is awesome. I'm going to go naming everybody, naming names, finishing lyrics. Josh is going to tear it up in baseball trivia and chugging gallons of things. You're going to tear it up with dictionary skills and tacos. And it's a really good thing she paused when she did. But when we come back, we're going to come back with hour number 2 right after this.
Why did I pause?
Stanford, Abilene, 106.9 FM. We are the Country Giant.
From eco-friendly thermostats to energy-efficient lighting systems for your business, technology is making everything smarter. Good thing your Touchstone Energy Cooperative can help you make smarter work harder. Today, there are more ways than ever to make your world more energy efficient, and we can show you how. Take the next step to go electric and put the power of your co-op to work for you.
You are the most important part of Big Country Electric Cooperative. Call, stop by our offices in Roby, Snyder, and Stamford, or visit online at bigcountry.coop.
Hello, Abilene and the Big Country. My name is John Keaty. I am a resident at Disability Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredding business. Our services include routine pickups, purges, or we accept drop-offs at our state-of-the-art, safe, and secure facility. We are the DRI shredders, and we are here to assist and serve you in the destruction of your most private documents or any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years. Give us a call at 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Clack Street. You'll be glad you did.
Have you enjoyed the Potosi Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around. With amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. Check out PotosiLive.com or go like them at Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 1750 for the Potosi Live experience.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
When it comes to finding the right vehicle for you, there's no better place than Lawrence Hall in Abilene. For over 34 years, Lawrence Hall in Abilene has been the place to find the best from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. And that is still true today. Great products and great service too. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, come see us or shop 24/7 at LawrenceHallAbileneOnline.com. Voted Abilene's best new car dealer for over 28 years by you, our customers.
Tammy, are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in mortgages. Buying a home should not make you cry. You deserve a team of mortgage experts who have your best interest at heart. Visit ColemanBank.com and let us help you make your next move. If you are looking for a mortgage team in a league of their own, Coleman County State Bank is the place for you.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. The time has changed and it's time to hit the range at Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf. Come relax on the patio, hit golf balls on the driving range, play 18 holes, and go enjoy a delicious meal, cold drinks with friends. Head to 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive, Mulligan Sports Bar, Grill, and Golf. You'll be glad you did.
Pest Patrol, Pest Patrol, Pest Patrol. To get a big, bright, yellow truck coming to your door. Call Pest Patrol.
Hi, I'm Weldon Hurt, and we've been protecting families just like yours with pest problems for 30 years. If you have pest issues, let our family help yours. For service or questions, call or text at 325-673-6700.
The big, bright, yellow truck coming to your door. Call Pest Patrol.
Get ready. The Hodge Pack. Settle in right now. It is time for the Hodge Pack. Sports, life, and everything in between with Josh, Misty, and Hodge. It's time for hour 2 of the Hodge Pack.
Welcome as we kick off hour number 2. Appreciate Greg Austin and JB and all those. This coming Monday is the Texas Regional Radio Music Awards. We got a lot of local flair there. We got Outlaws and Legends, which is coming up next weekend. If you haven't got your tickets for Outlaws and Legends, get those. But again, we've got Potosi Live. Again, we're in our Potosi Live studio. They're up for Venue of the Year. JB Cloud's syndicated show, Red Deer Proud, and of course our man, one of the guys that I'm so glad I got into this business and got to know this guy. Greg Austin is up for Personality Large Market. And so hoping they're bringing some hardware back Monday night, but appreciate those guys. And we're rocking and rolling in our 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Coleman County State Bank. And so March Madness is here. We've got brackets out. I've not looked. I know Josh is pretty good on the research on seeing if I have a hard time thinking there's any perfect brackets. They normally show that if there are somewhere.
Just the ESPN thing sent an update saying there were like 18,000 or something like that, like a huge number.
Well, wow. But I really think
pick a lot of brackets, and
that's true. There's not 18,000 people that filled out one.
And apparently there was like a handful of 0-win brackets in the ESPN thing.
Well, it's the way mine
feel like that would be harder than getting a perfect bracket
to not get any right.
Yes. To go out the first 32 games and get none of them right. I mean, that would.
Well, I will tell you, the way my bracket started in the morning, I thought that was what I was going to be was over. But I did. I finished 11-5 yesterday, which not terrible, not great, but finished 11-5. I do want to give a shout out. Appreciate Josh setting it up, but we had 77 people sign up for our bracket challenge, and so we appreciate you, listeners, and whether you got it through text or our Facebook page or whatever, we appreciate you joining us. Tracy signed up, and she's in the bracket as well. We're tied right now, and so leading it. Let me look it up real quick. Our buddy Brad Evans picked, so that's what's his name's called. And then Decker Dynasty, along with Paige McHugh.
Hooked on Phonics worked for Hall.
They're all in second, but Brad Evans is rock and rolling. He had a perfect bracket. I'd be curious. I'm betting Kentucky was the one that rocked his world or something, but But 11-5. Yesterday, I went and was talking to Zane a little bit. There were some good games, but a lot of them kind of showed who they were. And even the ones that we thought might be good ended up not being. But again, upsets yesterday. Really, I guess the big one was Duquesne beating BYU, which ruined my survivor pick. And, of course, the big one is Oakland, Cody Gokey's cousin that we're not sure if he's related to.
It's a funny name, and they kind of look alike.
Yep. So Jack Gokey went for 32 last night, beating Kentucky. And a lot of people on the national level are saying, that's like the second year in a row Kentucky's had an early exit. Is Calipari, is it time to move on? But kind of a big upset yesterday. Some of the other big games. I will tell you the one that shocked me waking up this morning was how close the Kansas and Samford game ended up being, 93-89.
Oh, that game was good. Did y'all stay up? Did y'all watch that game?
I did not stay up and watch it.
I really thought Samford was gonna. I mean, they could have. That game was very exciting. With like 2.5 minutes to go, I think they were down by like maybe 6 or I don't know.
And I saw on ESPN.com a block that they called either I don't remember did they call a foul or not a foul? What was it?
So it was they did not call a foul, and it was a clean block. I mean, they
did call a foul?
No, they didn't. Or they did. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, and it was not a foul. And so I think the score at that point, I think they were down by 2 maybe. So obviously then they would have gotten the ball and probably would have possibly won that game. But they reviewed it several times and, oh my gosh, it was beautiful. But what happened was whenever he blocked, they kind of, beat out and the other guy fell, like crashed on the floor. So obviously just a quick glance, it looks like that he fouled him and that's why he fell. But when they reviewed it, I mean, he did not touch him anywhere, his body, nothing. And so it's really unfortunate because that probably lost them the game.
Well, and I go back to, again, some of the games, I wrote this down, like Oregon over South Carolina. I don't think, even though the seeds are different, I don't think a Power 5 over a Power 5 is an upset. I don't look
at
it
the same way.
Right.
I don't think it's the same as what Duquesne did and Oakland did.
The interesting thing about both Oregon and NC State is those two teams made postseason runs in their conference to even make the tournament. You know, like they were not considered teams that were going to be in the round of 64 until their conference championships, and so. They kind of, some people said that those were the ones that snuck in, that kind of,
Well, and that's why I think they got, I'll be honest with you, and the reason I didn't text in the group that Grant started last night that Tech was playing, I didn't want him to know. I picked NC State because of that very reason. I mean, they won 5 straight, got on a roll, beat a very good North Carolina team. The talk of the tournament leading into was DJ Burns, and he only goes for 16 points last night. But that dude is
he's a beast.
He's a big man.
He is a beefy, and his spin move is like insane.
But I'd hate to know what Washington or any of those guys that guarded him last night, how they're feeling, because it was
aggressive.
See if he wants to come replace Tyron Smith because they were just banging around. But the real difference maker last night in that game was Middleton, the other post player that came in, goes for 21 points, and Tech just never really could get in any kind of rhythm.
No, their offense, they couldn't get consistent on the offense at all. And obviously they kept forcing threes. They couldn't get in the lane. I mean, don't discredit NC State, anybody, because they shut them down and they came to play and Tech just wasn't ready.
Well, and now because of the Oakland upset of Kentucky, it gives you a path to get to the Sweet 16 for a 10 seed and a 14 or for 11 and a 14 seed to get in. And so,
yeah, and that is true that not to take anything away from Oakland, but a lot of times the Cinderella story does come crashing down, and the hype, the build up, you've prepared for that first game, and you obviously don't admit it or even like maybe consciously think it, but you don't truly think you're beating Kentucky.
And they mentioned it. I was listening to their coach on Unsportsmanlike this morning, getting ready for the show, and he talked about they really didn't think they even played their best game. And he says, I know this is a cliche, and I know we're the underdog, and we just beat Kentucky, and Calipari's a friend of mine, and we understand what we've done inside our locker room, but we also feel like we could have played even better to even, not stay in the game, but win by more. The game I was disappointed in shot, and Josh, I know you'd mentioned this the other day when we were at lunch, just talking about how much more Big 12 basketball we watch or you've watched. I was really shocked in the BYU, not only because I did pick them,
Same.
but I really thought they would, and maybe the battle of the Big 12 affected Tech and affected BYU. But what wore me out is you cannot – here's the thing, and I don't care if you're playing under whatever softball or basketball, if you give somebody that's not as good as you any kind of confidence and any kind of chance, you know what they do? They build off of that.
Yeah, and they're going to beat you.
And that's what Duquesne did yesterday. They get out. I mean, it was 7 or 9-0 before even BYU even put a free throw in. Was the first point they got, and then they had to claw back to get back in it. And I can't remember if they got ahead or if they tied it, but they're doing such a great job. And then I'm like, there's this one defender, and he's all the way out here. I'm like, dude, keep him in front of you, because a back door is going to kill you. And I'm yelling at my iPad at the office. I'm like, get back up. And sure enough, back door, there's nobody midline. And then
it's those little things that
but
whenever
if you give anybody confidence,
absolutely,
they're going to stay in. And I think that's what you saw with Samford. They thought they were down and started clawing back in. Nevada's up and then lets Dayton come back and beat them.
Yeah, because you've got to still block out. You've got to still do the little things, even when you think you're so much better than somebody, because, those other teams are going to sneak in. And we saw it a lot yesterday, and it's going to continue to happen.
So, Josh, how's your first day of bracket?
Not good. And, you mentioned it was the largest Hodge Pack bracket challenge participation that we've ever had, and that just means there's more people in front of me.
I know. I'm 35th. I'm not mad at that. For me, I'm not mad about that right now.
I'm 63rd. I wouldn't say that out loud, except for everybody who's on it can look for it anyway. But had
a rough day. Greggy's number 2.
Our boy Greg Austin is number 2. Is shaking bacon up there. We appreciate the names. Peanut butter or peanut BCP. I'm trying to figure out who these people are. We've got Ghostbusters always win. Appreciate you, Ghostbusters. JP, I'm wondering if that's John Powell.
Tootsie,
that's Tracy. That's what Peyton calls her. So
okay.
And then we got Lauren, CJ Thomas, Answer Key. Yeah. Tracer Raiders. Of course, that's Posey's Joe Posey. Luke not doing bad. He's 19. He's tied with Hodge. Moose Raider.
Rebounding Barbies is a personal fave of mine. I don't know who that is.
I'm not going to lie. Rebound Barbie sounds like somebody that used to email you questions.
But I know. But like whoever you are, I'm loving your name.
One of Misty's made up
and we're tied. Yeah, we're tied. I'm tied with a lot of people at 35th. But Rebounding Barbies, if I had to pick, I don't know. That one may be my favorite.
Yeah, you have to go to page 3 to get to my bracket. So you don't have to worry about scrolling over there. It's not worth your time.
Don't waste your bandwidth on internet to get all the way to where Josh is. I do appreciate the random names, though. We'll try to read some of those a little bit later. But so we're going to transition. We're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we're going to talk the loyalty into the loyalty of the fast food topic that we talked to, because the reason I bring up loyalty is I don't have any loyalty to BYU, but we start seeing, and when we start picking, I like Texas Tech. My loyalty, I went to Hardin Simmons. I mean, I'm going to pick who I think is going to win. But in the same deal, we saw that with these people when they start losing and they start, we talk more about when we're mad about, I think, teams or players and go south. I heard one deal, Saquon Barkley left.
We're done with them.
They have nothing to do with you, which I understand that, and you should. But I think a lot of times that loyalty can go away pretty quickly if it doesn't benefit us.
Absolutely.
And so when we come back, we'll talk about loyalty, and we'll talk about the exciting best fast food item on the planet. And we're going to educate you on how to answer social media questions. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, Abilene and the Big Country. My name is John Keaty. I am a resident at Disability Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredding business. Our services include routine pickups, purges, or we accept drop-offs at our state-of-the-art, safe, and secure facility. We are the DRI Shredders, and we are here to assist and serve you in the destruction of your most private documents or any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years. Give us a call at 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Clack Street. You'll be glad you did.
Favorite thing about my street?
It's quiet.
Safe. The people.
We rely on each other.
And we rely on our Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
The co-op isn't just about electricity.
It's about power.
The power of information, efficiency,
safety,
technology.
That's why whenever I have a question about energy,
I always call my Touchstone Energy Cooperative first.
Because in my community,
I am the co-op. And the co-op
is me.
You are the most important part of Big Country Electric Cooperative. Call, stop by our offices in Roby, Snyder, and Stamford, or visit online at bigcountry.coop.
Have you enjoyed the Potosi Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around. With amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. Check out PotosiLive.com or go like them at Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 1750 for the Potosi Live experience.
Miller Lite is the light beer brewed for people who love the taste of beer. For those who are always the first to volunteer for beer runs, who hit up tailgates for sports that they don't even like, and believe having a beer fridge in the garage is non-negotiable. It's a 96-calorie, 3.2 carb love letter to beer lovers who know that the best part of beer is the beer part. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer.
When it comes to finding the right vehicle for you, there's no better place than Lawrence Hall in Abilene. For over 34 years, Lawrence Hall in Abilene has been the place to find the best from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. That is still true today. Great products and great service too. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, come see us or shop 24/7 at LawrenceHallAbileneOnline.com. Voted Abilene's best new car dealer for over 28 years by you, our customers.
Hi, I'm Sharon Riley. Here in Abilene, folks have lots of options for eating out, from large chains to locally owned mom and pops like us. I want you to know we really appreciate your business and are always striving for wonderful food, service, and prices. So we listen to you and have updated our menu, bringing back old favorites like nachos and fajitas and adding more small plates for the light appetites. So come see us. I want to hear you say, yum, yum.
Front row or cheap seats. The best place to be is logged in to KLGD1069.com, listening to the best sports radio show in the Big Country, the Hodge Pack, bringing the action to you.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, bringing the action to you. There is a lot of action going on. I want to remind you, this coming Wednesday, action will be at the Abilene Convention Center as Abilene Chamber of Commerce Business Expo will be taking place from 10 to 4. Over 167 booths will be there. Businesses working together, promoting their business, an opportunity for you to see. It always, when you go to Business Expo, there's always businesses that you didn't know were here in Abilene. They get a booth, promote themselves. And so head over to Business Expo. They've got a business after hours immediately following. It's always a great time with auction items that you can bid on. So again, this coming Wednesday, people are out there to get tickets. There's a ticket price, but there's businesses that if you know, go to them, they'll get you a ticket. But Business Expo, Wednesday, March 27th at the Abilene Convention Center. Appreciate Ashley and all the staff at the Chamber and all that they do. But next Wednesday, be loyal to the Chamber and head over to the Abilene Chamber of Commerce Business Expo, March 27th from 10 o'clock to 4. Now, loyalty. How loyal are you? I mean, for me, I ride for the brand. People know that. You know, I'm not. I'll joke. We go to this. That
was a double karate chop. That was a weird one.
He's like,
well, like I'm
sorry for those.
I'm pretty loyal. I'm pretty loyal to the brand. Well, especially, obviously, we appreciate our sponsors. We're loyal to them. Absolutely. And all that. But when you think of loyalty, like there's certain things I'm not gonna do. I'm not going to partake of. All that. I'm going to stay true to those brands. I'm not jumping ship from the Cowboys or the Rangers and all that. So what is something that you've probably, I'll do my own little question. What's something you've been loyal to that you'd never see yourself changing from?
Being a Dallas Cowboy fan. It's so abusive, and I'm still getting abused all these years later. So, I think all three of us are on that train.
Josh, what about a product or about a brand of some sort?
A brand that I'm still loyal to, I would say I like Nike. Nike's one of the brands.
So a lot of people jump ship from Nike because of the Colin Kaepernick thing.
Yeah, and for me, no. Like I'm wearing a pair of pink Nikes today. So once I find a good brand, even if it's a little bit expensive, you get what you pay for. And so I'm kind of big on, I'm not like a brand snob, but I shop at Amazon a ton, but definitely I do like nicer branded items.
There's a lot of brands that I'm pretty loyal to, and sometimes I think it's funny because you're loyal almost to a fault, because there's brands that I've been loyal to that I've seen that maybe the quality's kind of fallen off, but for some reason I just haven't moved on, but I'm very, very loyal to Best Made pickles.
Oh, so are we.
Oh yeah,
like the dill pickles, the hamburger dills, or the the ballpark, like whole dill pickles. I really don't want it if it's not a Best Made.
I'm loyal to Doritos.
The Market Street substituted my Best Made.
I was really glad they didn't make the mistake.
Else, and I was not happy about it.
Yeah, pickles
you didn't
were
clear
like
that
scarce.
Substitution with me.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But Doritos, I am a loyal Doritos eater, and Cheetos. I will never not eat Doritos or Cheetos ever.
Pretty committed. That's good.
Yes, I kind of got a little passionate
there. Do you carry a napkin with you, or just wipe it on your pants?
I just.
Oh,
that is the struggle.
Finger looking good.
Now, okay, real quick because we'll kind of transition into the
Cheetos
fast food.
You can't eat without getting dirty.
The Cheeto or the cheese puff. Are they equal opportunity employers?
Okay, so sometimes I'm feeling a little crunchy, and I'll get a crunchy, and then other times I don't get the big orange puffs. There's a white cheddar natural Cheeto now out there.
Ooh,
and let me just tell you, don't sleep on it. It is delish.
There you go.
I like to buy the big tub of like fake brand cheese
Those
puffs
are good too.
are at
Cheese
Sam's.
balls.
Well, I was always a big believer. There's certain things
the problem is you can't finish them.
No,
they
will go stale before you finish it.
Day one, they're
you
stale.
can always there are certain things you can get the generic of. Like, I'm going to be a Dr. Pepper guy.
Right.
Dr. Thunder's fine, but I'm going to be a Dr. Pepper guy.
No, Mr. Pibb. We're not Mr.
I'm not
Pibb
a Mr.
people.
Pibb. And don't tell me, I'll take you Dr. Pepper. We have Mr. Pibb. Then you don't have Dr. Pepper. That's why I need to.
Right. What else do you have?
They didn't just give you Mr. Pibb. No. Maybe they should.
Or
Blind
Sprite.
taste test.
Sprite and Sierra.
You remember that? We used to be the big Pepsi challenge and all those challenges. So then I brought that loyalty up to talk about how loyalty maybe transition into food, brackets. With loyalty, it just seems like a lot of people are real quick, even though they're loyal, to get real mad. Fire Dak, get rid of Dak, get rid of McCarthy, all these things.
But that's because their loyalty is to the brand, not to that individual person.
Exactly.
They want the Cowboys to be so good.
That's an interesting deal in itself. Do you think,
you want the Cowboys to be good? And Mike McCarthy's not going to be the coach forever. I will guarantee you that unless the Lord chooses to take me, I will still be a Cowboys fan post Mike McCarthy.
Same.
There were some people that couldn't have said the same about Tom Landry. So maybe I could be wrong, but
because they're not. They were loyal to Tom Landry and how he got let go.
Yeah,
right.
They got rid of him.
And he was literally the coach their entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
we've had a couple.
I'm just saying, I was a coach at one place for 7 years, and they've had a lot of coaches since me. Tom Landry, I'm not
big shoes to fill.
Yeah,
they just can't do it. He's not as good as Hodge. Fire him.
Yeah. Well, but I'm not comparing myself to Tom Landry. But Tom Landry's got to think, I was there forever, and then now look at all these people that they've had to have since me. 2 of them won a Super Bowl. Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl because of Jimmy Johnson, and I'll say that forever. But so the loyalty to that is huge. So now loyalty to fast food. So what is your single fast food item? Because I kind of got this idea. Golic and both Golics, Golic and Golic, Mike Golick and Mike Golick Jr.
Goodness gracious! If you say Golick one more time, I'm going to run through a window.
Anyway, they were doing a bunch of March Madness, a bunch of different foods, and it got me thinking: what is the best single fast food item? What are some of y'all's thoughts as I get this ready to look at our listeners' answers?
So I said Wiener World, like Wiener Schnitzel. Do y'all not call it Wiener World?
No,
I've never been to Wiener Schnitzel.
You've never been to Wiener Schnitzel? Oh my, Atlanta. Okay, so try that if you're into hot dogs. Definitely do that.
Like the chili cheese? My brother-in-law really likes the chili cheese.
Yeah, chili cheese hot dog, like it goes hard there. But I would say I put Wiener World and then I added one. So we do this thing in my family called coming home fries. So coming home fries are separate from your fries. Y'all have the weirdest looks on your faces.
You're saying the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
I'm not.
But Wiener World to coming home fries, and now you're trying like.
But my thing is please finish that.
I have to. So
you have to. I know.
Okay. So coming home fries. It's not the fries that you and all of your people ordered. So Clay kind of came up with this a few years ago. We would order something, Whataburger, whatever it is, and you're munching on the fries on the way home. So then when you get home, you don't have any fries because your family has eaten them on the way home.
Yeah,
so
the bag's sitting there.
Yes. So he started ordering an extra, just by itself, medium fry. So there are coming home fries. So all of us share one coming home fry so that when we get home, we have our regular fries. So coming home fries.
So
that was
and I guess I'm about to.
I see that was a problem in need of a solution. So
Thank you. Knowing is half the battle, people.
So I guess my point of that is when I started thinking about some of these people that answered it wrong. And I thought you were about to answer it wrong. And I think maybe you did, but I'm not 100% sure.
I probably did.
And when I said the best single fast food item, my first thought is applying the item to the place. But I guess
not just like a burger or a taco.
But I guess French fries can be the fast food item.
Yes.
I'm thinking more of the place, like the Chick-fil-A nugget, which was a big one.
Oh, and yeah.
And so French fry, yes, I will go with that. A lot of McDonald's French fries were there. Then you had the healthy people. Got Chick-fil-A Cobb salad or the Chick-fil-A sandwich. That's a correct answer. Answering it correctly. A lot of Lord's chicken, which is Chick-fil-A. One that really had a big battle was the Allsup's chimichanga and the Allsup's burrito. And I'm going to be leaning more to the bean and beef burrito than the chimmy. You're going
the green
chimmy.
chili chicken chimmy is better.
I guess I never realized.
I guess the benefit of the bean, the classic burrito, is it costs less. At least it used to. I haven't had one in a while. As you know, I'm very healthy.
I don't think I've had.
Well, Josh, you have avoided burritos, and well, you had one. You didn't have the other two. And if Brock and them are still listening, I'll swing back by and get you and Brian's burritos. So we've got a Boss Bowl for Taco John's at MGD.
What?
He's got to be from. I got to look. He's either from Hermley or the Snyder
Taco
area.
John's is a restaurant.
Yes, it's in Snyder. And again, I love this person to death. Samantha is fantastic. Anything from Brahms? That's not. You didn't answer the question correctly.
Yeah, it's not
Jack in the Box
item.
tacos. I've never been a fan of Jack in the Box, but Jack in the Box tacos was a big hit. Hands down, the McRib. Let me tell you why I may not be the McRib.
Ew.
If the McRib, first of all, I'm not a big fan. If it's the McRib reminds me of the double decker taco, which is mine and Jordan's. We threw it out there. I need it to be there. All right, the double decker taco. You know what makes a double decker taco, Misty? A taco, tortilla, and beans. You know what Taco Bell has behind the counter? Tacos, tortillas, and beans. Keep it on the menu. A couple others. We got to get McRib, Four Rivers. I don't know what Four Rivers is. Is that a place? Is that something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jamie Dobie, Party Burrito. The Party Burrito is pretty staple.
It does go hard. Yeah.
Now, I will say this. The big debate for like Abilene people and you Lubbock people, and even here, is Taco Bueno, Taco Bell, and Taco Villa.
Yeah. And is it Villa or Via? That's also another debate.
There is an actual debate on that.
There is a debate.
If you read it correctly, it's Via.
It's Via, but everybody says Taco Villa. And I'm like, that's not how you say it. It's Taco Via.
Shout out to Kyle at Mulligan's. Corey says, not sure if it's a fast food, but Tater Keg did get a vote.
I mean, yes, I'm on that train for sure.
another world famous sauce of burritos. Somebody asked Brittany, just the cane sauce, does that count?
Yeah.
Hot mustard sauce from McDonald's. I guess if you want to drink that, I guess it's considered fast food.
Well,
favorite.
if that's what's necessary to making your fast food experience like the best, then yeah.
Avocado lime ranch from Chick-fil-A is delicious.
Trace Broadfoot, another guy that's out enjoying some March Madness. Bueno burrito, most versatile. So I'm going to have to go with.
Or me, not Josh. I don't know.
I mean, I could always do better. So, I'm trying to tone up a little bit. I mean, I am a year older, so,
It does. No, what I want to ask you about the fries, because to me, I think the hardest thing is that fries don't travel well.
No.
So how good is that coming home fry?
No,
It's only good in the car. That's why you get the fries on the way home.
Right.
I know, but the last batch of fries, that guy's gonna be our first mall walker.
Okay, let's do it. We need to stop him one day.
My vote is no, but that's a mall walker scares you.
Oh my gosh, he's so nice. He always waves. And then I want my little Texas Ranger fan.
They stutter, stammer, not gonna like.
It can't be any worse than dictionary.
Actually say
Actually, don't. I don't want to be replaced.
If we get kicked off the radio for the dictionary stuff we say, or the stuff, I just clarification, couldn't even say clarification.
Oh, we are struggling. I blame it on I'm delirious. I stayed up till midnight. I only got a few hours of sleep.
Thank you, Josh. I need knowings at the battle.
I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm delirious. I haven't seen my husband in a week. I'm falling apart.
That's why dictionary's on her mind.
Exactly. I mean, I digress. I just remember, like, I was really good at that.
At dictionary.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm really good at this.
I'm glad you clarified what you're really good at. I just remembered I'm good at that.
I am really good at a lot.
I can work a dictionary better than anybody. What?
I mean, if the shoe fits.
I don't think it's a shoe.
Y'all, this is so funny. I love how like squirmy you are getting. It's the best. It's the best. Oh man. Love it.
I don't know if y'all had this, but I just thought about it. I had somebody yesterday that said something about me being on the radio to somebody, and then they said, "Yeah, you should listen. It's actually funny." And I was just like,
You're like, wow. I saw Mark Powell the other day.
Why are they having Outlaws on Easter weekend?
I bet it's a weekend where his kids were out of school.
Okay, here we come back.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. We're rocking and rolling hour number 2, brought to you by Coleman County State Bank. A couple of shout outs I want to remind you about. We got a lot of golf things coming up. Of course, the WAPT, we've talked about that coming up on April 29th is the Pro-Am. If you want to be a part of that, you probably still can. There's also some tables that are up for the Judy Rankin experience. If not with Judy Rankin, reach out to the Abilene Country Club. They can get you set up for that. And then big shout out to the NOAA Project, great organization. Their golf tournament is coming up on April 25th with a preview party on April 24th. So you can head over to noaaproject.org and get signed up for that. Great organization, a great time. And of course, don't forget on April 29th, Misty will be making her golf debut. Exciting for that. So real quick, before we go to knowings at the battle, the fry doesn't, in my opinion, has a hard time traveling. Which again, Chick-fil-A was one of the big nominations for fast food. They're going to send chips with you because, again, great friend of mine, Wesley would say they didn't want the integrity of the fry to be on them. If you order it, take it, that's fine. But just the fry has a hard time traveling. So is the coming home fry still
crisp?
Yes.
Yes.
Or do you throw them in the air fryer to like keep them back crispy?
No. I mean, usually our family loves Whataburger. We're not McDonald's people, we're Whataburger people. So when we get coming home fries, it is 90% of the time from Whataburger. And we also frequent Chick-fil-A, but I will say, the fries are not that crispy. That waffle fry does, like Wesley said, it did not travel and does not travel well. But yeah, for me, it's Whataburger coming home fries, crispy. I hate like floppy fries. I can't. They need to be like crisp and crisp.
Right.
Now, crisp. Yeah.
Crisp and crisp.
I have a hard time. Like, I don't like when I don't let my kids eat in my car if I can at all avoid it. But I eat the French fries on the way to wherever I'm going if I do the fast food thing because they're not good by the time you get there.
Right.
So you can just eat the fries when you get there. You eat the burger and you're good to go.
But
so
see, I have to
that's
have.
not knowing half the battle, but you can put that in your book.
Yeah, I've got to have
You've been
the fries.
educated a lot today on how to answer social media questions, how to look up words correctly, and pauses are important. We'll be back. We're going to do knowing at the battle. We're not going to be back. We're doing knowing at the battle now. No, knowing at the battle.
All right, it is March Madness, so I have to give you all some March Madness tips. You'll have to keep them on your mind for 365 days so you can use them next year. So a little bit of advance notice for your next bracket, I guess. But the thing that I was thinking about is there's a lot of instability in the March Madness. Like you've got the loyalty things where you see those brackets where people. There was a lot of brackets I saw that had Texas Tech going several games deep, and obviously they lost in the first game, and that was I picked them yesterday, but there's that loyalty thing. So there's some instability of being two homer. Then you have the Big 12 being, not really representing itself. So that's a problem. So I'm trying to think about how do you try to be as stable as possible? And one of the most unstable things that I've seen people do, and I have been guilty of it myself, and this year is the first year I broke myself of it, and I'm having some withdrawals. Like I'm thinking maybe I made a mistake, but no, I'm sticking to my guns. I went cold turkey on it, so to speak, and I just picked one bracket.
That's shocking.
All the things like for our bracket and
everything that I entered the exact same bracket.
So the one that we're in together with all our buddies and this one.
Yes. Now,
how many are you in? How many contests are you in?
Oh,
we don't need a dollar value because I don't want to show you.
The Shohei and I are on the same list, obviously.
No comment.
My name is right under his ledger of gambling debts. But anyway,
let's pay it from him.
Maybe he can pay off my debts. I'll call him.
He doesn't even have the 0.5.
But no, I'm in 6 different bracket groups, and I entered the same one in all of them. And now here's the thing. I tried to put my best foot forward on that one bracket. It's obviously crashed and burned, which is making me rethink my process. But the stability is there in watching the games. I looked at my bracket. I generally have it memorized. I know who I picked. And so when I watched said game, I know what's going on. So now this is the purpose of doing so. It has made the watching of the game yesterday and paying attention to the scores, it made it much more enjoyable. Because I didn't have to think who did I pick in this bracket? What I got in this one? Well, this bracket I'm doing good, but this bracket I'm doing bad. Maybe I want this team to win, and especially if it's for pride's sake, I want to do better there. Maybe there's a little bit more money in this pool over here, so I wish I did good, but I did good in this one over here. That's with the group of people that there's no money in it, and whatever. So not that there's money in any of them. I mean, it's just it's monopoly,
Of course.
So there's a lot of stability in that, and that made my watching experience much better. Contrary, the other side of that coin is I always kind of saw that as a little bit of hedging your bets. This bracket might not do well, but that one might. But I think the payoff is definitely there in trying to pick a stable bracket where if you finish your bracket and look at it, I need you to think 2 things. One is your homer team that good? Because it's always easy to pick them 1 game too far. Now, some people pick them 7 games too far. They should have there's not even 7 games. But but go ahead.
Well, I do think that some people get too loyal. For me, I had a hard time. I like Coach McCaslin. I like Tech, but I went with NC State. I probably went out on some limbs, obviously, but I don't think my limb, Drake, was leading the whole game almost and then let it go.
Right.
So my question, how good are they? How far does Zane and some of those take Baylor?
Well, generally, I'd say Baylor's a team that I follow, obviously. And so if I run my bracket and then I take a step back and look at it and I think, I'm probably picking Baylor to go 1 game too far because I'm a little bit too homer and too Big 12 homer, just in general, having watched a lot of Big 12. And that leads to the second one. If you pick your bracket based on just a pure recency bias, it's probably going to be wrong.
Well, and
NC State did win, and that was a recency bias pick. There is something to be said about momentum. But,
but I think momentum and recent bias is a little different. I do think most people, when they pick with their heart, is a struggle. You really are to do the Seinfeld opposite. And, even though I feel like this is probably it, I'm going to go the other way.
Well, that is obviously oftentimes if I would have just done the opposite of what I felt on any of the ones that that were close. You know, nobody is second guessing you for picking Kentucky. You know, like no. I'm not saying people did not pick Oakland. People did,
Right?
You know,
Of
but it was
course.
like there was no one in their right mind that sat down and really broke down that game and was like, you know what, because this Golke kid's really good at the 3-point line, and they're gonna have a hard time guarding him, and he's gonna shoot 50% and shoot all day long. You know, you couldn't have ever called that. You know, so like.
So how did one of your friends that you're very close with pick the team to win it all that did not and lost
Who?
yesterday? She picked BYU. Because Corey told me this.
Okay.
And so I have not, because baseball took a lot over, golf took a lot over, just taking time to watch it. How did you, and I watched some, what made you,
Like my strategy?
how
did
did
I
you pick yours? Because I know we got 74 people, we got 77 total in there, which 3 of those are us. I know there's people in there that did not watch a whole lot of basketball this year. They may be at the top of the list. How did you pick yours? Because you're saying don't go biased and just do one bracket.
Well, there's just the one bracket thing is, like I said, it just the first time I've ever done it. I used to pick different brackets all the time, and I like I said, I felt like I was hedging my bets, which I still think that there's.
Or half the time cheering for the team you thought you picked.
Well, yeah, but then you just end up being like watching a game where it's like, well, I picked Marquette in this bracket, but
You want both of them to win. You're like,
bracket, so
yeah,
now I'm like,
you're
but now
screwed.
I just went with one, so now I have exactly who I want to win every game, and I can sit and watch it and be disappointed or be excited and move along. It made my fan experience much better yesterday, only having one bracket to be concerned with.
For me, my strategy this year, I think y'all know in the past, I've picked with my heart. And this year, I kind of went in and I was like, I'm going to pretty much pick the higher seed in every game, except for a few, like, because there's always going to be.
So who was your AC or Oral Roberts this year?
See, last year I picked Oral Roberts, and I had, you know, obviously there was not very many of us that did that. So I usually, or last year was different. This year though, I was like, I'm going to pretty much go with a higher ranked team, other than I'm going to toss in a few, you know, that are pretty close. And so, I mean, like I said, so far I'm kind of middle of the pack, so I don't think that strategy is too terrible. Obviously BYU screwed me. And what was it? Mississippi State and Michigan. So
Mississippi State, and again, that's at Power 5 versus
Right.
Power 5. I don't think that's an upset. 8-9 is
No.
not an upset.
No, it's not. But just saying my strategy of I picked the 8 over 9. So just saying, like, I pretty much went in and I was like, this year I'm just going to kind of run through it. And I did not do a lot of research on it. I just kind of went out on a limb. And like I said, so far I'm middle of the road. Are we going to talk about who we've got going all the way?
Yes, we're gonna go ahead and take it to the top of the hour. So, Josh, who are some of your stretches? I mean, again, Josh, you mentioned 32 games, 16 of them are done. We got 16 of them today. So, who are some of your people that you went out on a limb?
Well, I went out on a limb on McNeese beating Gonzaga, and that didn't happen. So.
Well, and that was probably a little bit of
them.
a recent bias because Coach Wade, who had the trouble at LSU, went over to McNeese State, had a great run. Probably might be, depending on if people want to take a chance on him in bringing him to another Power 5 school. I didn't have that one. What about so what are some yesterday that you went? I went 11-5. I don't know if y'all had time to look and see what y'all did. Mine that I felt comfortable with picking on the upset was the Drake one, and up until the very end, it looked like a good pick.
That one was the one that got me yesterday too. That was one of the ones that I flipped because obviously Washington State is ranked number 7, Drake 10. So on that one, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go Drake, and so that one screwed me. But the majority of the ones that I picked yesterday were all the higher ranking teams. But yeah, that one I would say was kind of my.
How many picks did you say you got right? 11.
I went 11-5.
Yeah, I only got 9 right, and it was not a good showing for me. I mean, obviously I lost to BYU, and I had BYU winning a couple games, so that set me back.
I did too.
Going into the future, and then I missed all of the close ones.
I got
as
10
far as
right.
the close seed ones because I picked Tech, they lost. I picked South Carolina, they lost. And I picked Mississippi State, who had a good show, and that was one of my recency things. They had a good show in the SEC tournament.
I agree.
And then got beat by Michigan State. That was kind of where I was at with all of that.
And it wasn't close.
No,
I mean,
no.
69-51 was that game.
But those three,
they nipped in back into it. Mississippi State did, and then Izzo, and then went on a run. And I'll go back to loyalty and thought process and taking time in it. I should have thought more about Tom Izzo's been there a lot, and he's probably going to have his team ready. And I'm not saying they're going to win in the next round against the number 1 seed, but I'm kicking myself on that one because of the recency bias I did with Mississippi State.
I agree with you completely. But it was like all three of those Power Five mid-conference games, I guess that's right. Kind of not the top of those conferences, but the guys that kind of made it in from the middle. I missed every one of them. That was and that's really kind of just inexplicable. I mean, it's not something that's like, oh, you made a terrible judgment on that. I see, like, looking back at it, there were things like, okay, I could see this side of it too, but it's not one of those. Oh, that was dumb. Picking Gonzaga to lose was dumb. But
I agree with that.
Hodge, I'll kick you.
And we love you for your choices, Joshua. Thank you.
So looking at today's games, again, another 16 games today. What are some that y'all are looking at? Again, of course, Baylor will play. They've got an early game. The other thing that you got to think about, and I was talking to this last night with Tracy, they were playing at Pittsburgh last night, which means Tech was playing very late.
It was very late.
Very late.
Yeah, it was late.
And that frustrated me, obviously, because I was already not happy that the Tech game was starting at 8:30. I thought that was too late. Then it didn't start till 9:15.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, now I'm going to be in bed way later than I would like to, and I was. But it is March Madness. I can, only have a couple times a year to stay up too late watching basketball. But no, today's games, the ones that I feel like, there's a couple that are interesting, I guess. One being, New Mexico,
and
Clemson. Yeah, I'm trying to look at my bracket. New Mexico and Clemson is one that I think it could be an interesting game. Texas A&M, Nebraska. That's another one of those. Yeah. I'm probably going to get it wrong, so I'm not going to tell you who I picked. But another one of those Power 5 mid-tier schools, that going against each other. So that one is going to be interesting.
I think all the 8-9 games today. I know that sounds like Captain Obvious from
TCU and you.
I think
Florida, Colorado.
I think all those 8-9 games are going to be pretty good today.
Yeah.
And then another, which is this one is an upset alert, I guess. Possibility or you'll see the replay of the Gonzaga game is that James Madison versus Wisconsin. James Madison has lost 2 games, I think, all year. It's probably the only three games they played against good teams.
But a lot of times I think that we see that the reason those teams are good is you have a lot of older players. You have juniors, you have seniors on these teams. And so I do think that's why you see them 8. And I think a lot of it is I've got nothing to lose. If we lose, we're supposed to lose. We came here, we got the cool stuff, we got on the plane, sent back home. I do think that's a good one. I also think another one that is going to be interesting is Coach Lutz. He's at Western Kentucky. They're really, really pretty good. And Marquette's good. I could see that 2-15 game may be a little competitive as well. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think that New Mexico game is going to be good. All I've heard from my buddies out west, I say west, New Mexico area, is their guard play is fantastic. Coach Patino's son is there as the head coach. So I think that Clemson New Mexico game is going to be one of the best of the day today.
So who's winning it? Who's taking it?
All right, so let's go for who's your Final Four?
UConn is who's going to win it.
Okay, you got UConn. Who's your Final Four?
Sorry, I'm trying to get there because I can't remember.
Josh, who's yours? Because I know you only have one bracket.
Yeah, I do only have one bracket. I've got Yukon and Houston.
Yeah, I've got Yukon, Houston, Purdue, and North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
Those are my final
Yukon,
four.
Houston, North Carolina, Tennessee.
I got Iowa State, Houston, North Carolina, and Tennessee. I've got a rematch in the finals with Iowa State and Houston. I got Houston win it all. You got Yukon, I got Houston, you got Houston. All right, there we go. Houston, we do not need to have a problem. We don't have a problem. Be sure you get those dictionaries out, get those speeds, learn where the words are, get the Business Expo on Wednesday, get the Outlaws and Legends next week. We'll be back next Friday with more Hodge Pack, Sports Life, and everything in between.
Good.
Oh, that's funny.